and welcome to the Watch channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Pagani Design GMT Rootbeer. Now, for most of you, be aware that this is a homage to a very well-known Rolex GMT Master 2 that is finished in rose gold and is substantially more expensive than this particular model. While we're talking at the price, this homage to that particular Rolex costs there or thereabouts 150 Australian. Homages are a contentious topic, but I think they do have their place in the watch collecting community and certainly allow people to purchase a watch that they like the style of without, obviously having to drop the massive expense that only a certain amount of us can afford. Anyway, onto the dimensions of the watch. You're looking at 40 mils across the way in diameter, 45 if you include that crown. You have a height of the watch from the top of the lug to the bottom there, sitting at about 47.5, and when you're looking at the thickness of the watch, it's about 13.5, 13.6 mils. And I have put some pictures up showing it on the wrist. Now, GMTs or Rolex sport models, or the homages to them, of which this is one obviously, some people say they can't be worn in a business environment because they are sports models. I beg to differ, and specifically with this particular model, because of its two-tone look, it certainly has a bit more of a dressy feel to it than a standard steel model. When we're talking about the case finishing, you do have some nice polishing on the sides there, and you do have a brushed top here. The bezel, the insert is ceramic, but the colouring on the etched markers is actually like an orange. It does look as though it's sort of a rose gold finish, but it isn't actually a metallic finish. It is just an orange or a rose gold sort of colourway. You can see there the bracelet also has that rose gold centre link, and the crown there also. When we start looking at the dial, you do have a deep glossy black dial. You do also have applied hour markers which have a rose gold finish or outline on them, and the hour, minute, second and GMT hand all have rose gold finishing, adding to the overall look. Now, when we're looking at the case, and again, I'm going to try and keep with the scoring mechanism I've used in my previous video. When we're looking at the case finishing and the sizing, the dimensions, I am a little bit biased because of the value proposition here, but I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 in terms of finishing. The only thing that I would say is a little bit of a drawback is there is a little bit of play, or back play, sorry, on this bezel when you move it. Now, one of the things I really do like about this particular bracelet is the fact that they did go to the effort of doing that colour on the inside as well. Whilst it looks a lot like the more expensive version, it certainly doesn't have the same level of finishing. For one, you don't have the quick adjustment clasp there. It does open up to a very small diver's extension, but putting that aside, it's not to the same standard as to what you would expect of a Rolex clasp. But you know what, again, the cost of it is nowhere near the same. You do have screw-in links, so very easy to adjust, and like I say, that colouring, the rose gold etching that's gone all the way through to the other side as well was really nice. All things considered, with the strap, with the bracelet, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, I've mentioned that Pearl DG GMT movement a couple of times in this video, and there's a lot of people worried out there about this movement, thinking that it's just a cheap Chinese clone, and you know what, I think everybody's gonna if they buy enough of these types of watches, they're going to come across a lemon every so often. What I can tell you is, if it gives you any sense of comfort, this is the 4th GMT from Pagani that I've purchased. There's some more reviews coming up on the channel, but this is the 4th GMT that I've purchased with this particular movement, and all of them have been received in working order. All of them are keeping decent time, and all of them work. I want to give it a score of 9 out of 10. I think, you know, from my personal perspective, having 4 of them all arrive in working order, all keeping reasonably good time, they are certainly reliable from my side. If we look at the specific features of this watch, for that 150 Australian, you're getting a stainless steel case. You're obviously getting that rose gold two-tone plating. You have a sapphire crystal, albeit with a non-reflective coating on it, but I don't think that presents too much of an issue. This watch is quite blingy, and I think, you know, when you get a little bit of a glitter from that crystal, it adds to the blinginess factor of the watch. So yeah, the sapphire crystal, but the most important thing for me, and again, this is a homage, and it's a very, very cheap homage when you consider everything, but 100 meters water resistance, screw down crown, solid end links, and an automatic GMT movement. I think it's really, really good value for money. Overall, when we're actually looking at the features, I think I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Last but not least, the overall value proposition, guys. Now, again, homages aren't to everybody's taste. I do appreciate that some people, you know, do consider them a fake watch. I look at it a little bit more pragmatically. I think, you know, as I said at the start of this video, not everybody can afford the price that Rolex commands for the watch, and I don't think that, you know, unless you're wanting to sell one of those watches, I don't think they present you know, a fantastic value proposition. They are very, very expensive, and you're paying for the brand. Pagani's go to the other extreme. You're not really paying for the brand, you're just paying for the look. But one thing I would say is that you are getting much more quality than your dollars would suggest, and I think based on that, my value proposition score for this watch is a solid 9.5 out of 10. Anyway, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed the video. I do wish you all the best. I hope you have had a lovely weekend, and I will see you in the next video soon. Take care.